A young couple receives a phone call from a local business owner. The owner of this particular business would urge them to drop everything and immediately come to meet with him. He meant business and he wasn't playing around. They needed to hear about his discovery. The couple dropped everything immediately and met with the business owner. The business owner's gruesome discovery would absolutely floor the couple and change the trajectory of their life forever. But first things first, if you like strange true crime and mysterious storytelling, then this is the place to be, here with me, JP. So kick back, grab a drink and a snack, and make sure to tip that like button. Join that SBG family by subscribing and hitting that notification bell to make sure you are getting notified when I release a weekly video. Let's go. On July 9th at 10 a.m., 20-year-old Jessica Ross's water broke. Jessica quickly alerted her boyfriend, Treveon Isaiah Taylor. Treveon would quickly grab their hospital birthing bag and assist Jessica into the car. The eager couple found themselves on an exhilarating journey to the hospital. Their hearts swelled with anticipation for the night they would welcome their first child into the world. However, fate had prepared a horrific twist that would change their lives forever. The rhythmic hum of the car engine provided a soothing backdrop as Jessica clutched Treveon's hand tightly, her face contorted in pain. The contractions had intensified, coming in waves that demanded her attention and endurance. Treveon, though nervous, remained steadfast, reassuring her with gentle words and comforting caresses. But as they neared the hospital, the sky seemed to have almost darkened ominously. The clouds unleashed this downpour of rain, obscuring the road and reducing visibility to a mere whisper. Treveon's hands gripped the steering wheel with determination as he fought against the elements. Jessica's contractions grew stronger, their intensity almost mirroring the storm outside. Each bump on the rain-soaked road sent waves of agony coursing through her body. She closed her eyes, attempting to find solace in the rhythm of her breathing, but the pain was unrelenting. Overcome with the mixture of fear and excitement, the couple exchanged a determined glance, silently promising to one another that they would do whatever it took to ensure the safe arrival of their child. Finally, they made it to the hospital. With their adrenaline pumping, Treveon helped Jessica out of the car, shielding her from the rain with his body, ignoring their soaked clothes and the piercing wind. They trudged forward and made their way towards the hospital entrance. Their arrival was met with a flurry of activity as medical personnel rushed to their aid. Jessica was whisked away to the delivery room while Treveon, drenched and shivering, was left to pace the sterile hospital hallway, his heart pounding through his chest. Hours passed like a lifetime as Treveon anxiously awaited news of his wife and child. The storm eventually subsided and a hushed eeriness settled over the hospital. Finally, the doctor emerged, her face a mixture of this coldness and just lacking emotion, came to Treveon and said, "I'm sorry, there was a problem. Your baby didn't make it." Treveon felt his heart sink and he immediately ran to Jessica. Treveon and Jessica would hold each other and would just sob uncontrollably. The pain they felt, I can't even pretend to imagine what they were going through at that moment. Jessica and Treveon asked to see and hold their son. The hospital staff refused, which was a little strange, and they just didn't want Jessica to see the baby. Jessica firmly demanded to see her son. A few hours later, a nurse would return to the couple cradling their child tightly wrapped up in a blanket. Understanding the couple was distraught over losing their son, the hospital provided guidance to the grieving couple, suggesting that they immediately cremate the child instead of a burial, because seeing the child would cause them too much pain. They ensured them that cremation is just far less expensive and would allow them to just move on more quickly. The hospital then handed forms to Jessica and Treveon to sign to release the child's body to them. Now, Jessica didn't want to cremate her child. It just wasn't something that she was interested in. That's not something her family did. She spoke to Treveon, and they both decided that they wanted their child buried. They didn't care about the cost and say, hey, it's less expensive, let's cremate our child. They wanted to do what was right for them or what they felt was best for them. So they took their child to the funeral home to make the necessary preparations. Later on that day, they would receive a call from the funeral home owner urging them to drop everything and immediately come down to the funeral home. The funeral home director sounded serious, so Jessica and Treveon did just that. They dropped everything immediately. What they would discover would absolutely floor them. Once they arrived at the funeral home, the owner would break some gruesome news to them. He would tell them that their child didn't die of complications during the delivery, but was actually decapitated. So what happened? Well, this is what allegedly happened on that day of July 9th. Jessica and Treveon arrived at the Southern Regional Medical Center, a hospital in Riverdale, Georgia. Upon arriving, Treveon alerted the staff that Jessica was in labor, and immediately they whisked her away to give birth. But things weren't going so well. At approximately 8:40 p.m., Jessica was fully dilated and instructed to begin pushing. The baby stopped descending due to shoulder dystocia while being delivered vaginally by Dr. Tracey St. Julian. Dr. St. Julian tried delivering the baby vaginally using different methods, including applying traction on the baby's head. The doctor pulled on the baby's head and neck so hard and manipulated them so hard that the bones in the baby's skull, head, and neck were broken. Dr. St. Julian decided to perform a C-section at approximately 11:49 p.m. The baby's body and legs were delivered at 12:11 a.m., and the baby's head was delivered vaginally shortly after. Remember when I told you that the hospital refused to let Jessica and Treveon hold their child? That's because they didn't tell Jessica and Treveon that they just decapitated their son. When Jessica sternly insisted to see their child, the nurse went back and consulted with a team of doctors, and they decided to prop the baby's head upon the baby's shoulders, and then they proceeded to tightly wrap the baby up in a blanket up to his head to secure his head in place. Then they presented the baby to the mother and the father. So it was a complete cover-up. And now this is an ongoing case. It just happened fairly recently here. And there's an ongoing lawsuit against the hospital, obviously from the parents for malpractice and gross negligence here. So I don't have a lot of information about what happens after this point, but when I do, I'll be sure to update you guys if I find out more information. But anyway, guys, if you guys like that story, I don't even know if that's the appropriate word to even say here if you like the story, but if you guys like hearing different stories, true crime and whatnot, I urge you to go check out some of my other strange true crime stories. I have a story about an Australian man who met somebody at a local bar and accidentally paid for his own death, in a sense. Just like I got some strange true crime stories out there that some of the stuff you might not have heard. So make sure you guys join that SBG family by subscribing, hitting that notification bell because I do release 1 to 2 times a week, and make sure to hit that like button because it'll help with this algorithm and it'll help boost my channel. So I appreciate you guys. Be good, be safe.